And these services are segregated.
Totally, they're pressurized. They are entirely pressurized. And from here onward, this is an independent area. The pantries are located here, which is going to be attached with every one of these offices. So that should give them enough feasibility of use of the space, with the toilets close by, with the pantries close by, and the lifts in the core.
The bottom line is efficiency, economics and efficiency. That's the whole point, right? So this is clear now.
So I think based on this, we can now go ahead and prepare the documents which are required.
This was some of the
Now, I wanted to try to tell you that some of those things which are being proposed have been tried. Say, for example, this is the conference room. But there are many problems which are there in it. Now, in this conference room, they have provided for about 20 people. And if we are going to provide a conference room of this kind, this is the type of thing which will be used by other people also in the other offices. But then we have large conference rooms. Those large conference rooms are going to be something which is much larger. And
convention halls.
And that will be in the form of medium-sized conference room, then much larger, then in the form of commission rooms, and much larger areas which will be about up to 500 people seating capacities, which can be used also as a multi-purpose space, to be used for conventions, to be used for exhibitions, to be used for office.
Yes, sir. Ready, sir. Okay.
Short.
You see, a conference room will be possible for small conferences, for medium-sized conferences. The medium size may be about 100 people. Small conferences may be only about 25 to 30 people. And a large convention hall or a commission room which will be able to cater for about 400 to 500 people.
Very easily.
Which is all to be then made in such a manner that it would be visitors from outside without upsetting the routine.
See, there will be a lot of foreign dignitaries coming in because this is a public sector.
The other side of this is the banquet halls, the dining halls, and the bar, so that it's a full-fledged convention complex which is going to be there. And it should function from that point of view without creating any problem, including that we have to see that in the event of an unlikely event of a fire, that people will be able to go out without video projections to be available.
Everything will be there.
For explaining in the event of a seminar what kind of audiovisuals are required to be provided. All aspects have to be then catered for.
See, this whole zone basically is meant for this.
And if we don't think about it now, you will find that there are going to be problems later on which will be met by them. So we must detail out every aspect, including the air conditioning which is required, which will be in the later hours of the day.
CCTV is there, security systems are already built in. So in case VIPs come, they are scanned, you know, and if there's any problem, automatically the alarms will go up.
People are...
Yes, sir. As a perspective...
For that matter, all projects require an overall planning. And if it is not properly planned, it is likely that you will get into difficulties at one point or the other, either during the functioning of the project or even during construction. Now, that means that it requires an interdisciplinary approach. It requires people from different experts and expertise to put into it and to dovetail it together to make it into a successful system. In a project like yours, particularly which is an environment controlled project, which requires a specialized environment to be created, which is what people are looking for, you require that there should be a proper planning of the layouts. You require that a proper recreation is built for them to use these spaces. You require a beautiful landscaping to be provided. And yet you also require, in addition to that the functional requirements of water supply, plumbing, electrification, the necessary generators for it, the people who require telephone and telecommunication facilities, a first-class road network, a good stormwater drainage system, all these aspects have to be knit together for making a proper and a good project. Now, we are equipped within ourselves, within our own organization, with the resources for the various disciplines of work, which means that it will mean the town planning part of it, the architectural part, the engineering part, and so on and so forth. We have also the experience of having done a large number of projects in India and outside India, which will cover a whole gambit of projects of different requirements to be carried out. And in addition, there is a factor that everything must be done within a time constraint, which is also an important thing, because you have seen that many times a good project is ruined because it has no time controls left. So you require a proper management at the site to see that the project is done in time. You require a proper supervision, and most of all, a imaginative planning which must be carried out. We have the experience and the resources to provide all. In fact, at present we are managing a project where it's a very high-tech, high-rise building, which is about 70 crores of construction, which is also being managed by us at the site by way of the monitoring of it and its management of it, with a team of engineers and architects sitting on the ground to ensure that it is being built properly. So you require planning resources, supervision resources, and the expertise. All these fields are covered by us, and we are equipped to be able to carry it out. So in this case particularly, I feel that where environment is an important part, the landscaping has to be done very imaginatively, and we have done a large number of landscaping projects. We have recently done a large project for a government organization, which is for the construction of 6,000 houses and a city to be built with it, where the city planning has been done by us, the landscaping has been done by us, and the housing and all the infrastructural requirements have been done by us.
Sir, what are the kind of services that a person who's investing in this project, architectural and related services that a person who's investing in this project could look forward to from your
You see, we generally provide total services. In other words, we are involved in totality. We then design, plan, work out the estimates, get the approval of the promoters, get the necessary sanctions from the government authorities which are required for giving you the infrastructural support which is necessary. Thereafter, we prepare the tenders and the estimates and the specifications and go out to the award of works, supervise the work to ensure that it is done in accordance with the drawings, designs, and to the specifications and quality which is required, and thereafter ensure that the payments to these people are made in keeping with what are the contract provisions. In other words, we are involved in totality in managing the project on behalf of the promoters to fully safeguard him and the people who are ultimately the purchasers of individual projects. And in this case, if it is required, we will provide all these services to make sure that the ultimate client, who is the buyer, his interests are well protected in a situation of this nature. Any project requires that it must be planned in a manner which will later on, from the point of the user, not have any difficulty. The success of any project essentially lies in the planning part. If it is well planned, it is quite possible and most likely that it will be a good, functional and pleasing project. It therefore requires an interdisciplinary approach in the planning so that experts from different fields get together to be able to provide the necessary expertise in the planning of the project. In most projects, and particularly in projects which are resort projects or primarily environment controlled projects, this is a prerequisite and the success will therefore depend on that aspect. In your project, it is necessary that not only the environment, the landscaping, the functioning aspect of it, the provision of infrastructural requirements like electrical power, water supply, road network, but the entire environment must be such that it functions well. So the town planning, the architectural, the civil, the structural, and all aspects must be properly dovetailed to be able to provide it. If the organization which is planning it has got the expertise and the experience and the resources to do a good job, it is natural that the project will be a good project which will bring credit to all the people, including the promoters or the architects and the designers who are going to be involved in the project. We have considerable experience over a period of 25 years in India and outside India in the planning of projects, which are housing projects, which are high-tech projects, which are high-rise projects and projects of different kind. Recently, we have done a project for the Government of India where we have designed the city planning, the landscaping and the housing of 6,000 persons, which is half built already and the other part is being built, which has been acclaimed as a good project, which is modern. Therefore, it is necessary that the agency which is involved has got the experience but also are prepared to work at the site. We are doing another project at the moment where we are spending about 70 crores on the project, which is for again another government agency, where we are doing the entire consultancy, the planning part of it, the supervision of it, the site management, to ensure that it is built not only to drawings and designs and estimates, but it is being built within the time frame which is necessary for it to be carried out. We have the resources both of organization and staff in-house for providing this consultancy which is required for that purpose. And we are capable of providing these services to you in case you want us to provide. But the success of it will also depend on whether we are providing total services in totality or only partial services. We therefore recommend that you should ask us to provide you the full services, which means that we will be manning the project on your behalf at the site to ensure that your interests are safeguarded as well as the interests of the ultimate purchaser are safeguarded, who has a faith in you and you in turn have faith in us. So we feel that if it is done on this basis, you will finally end up with a imaginatively designed project, a project which is built to the requirements and to the specifications which are suitable for it, and in the cost and the time frame which is the right one, which has been already set by you.
Do we go on to the second bit about the services that, that one can look forward to?
Since we will be providing you total services, we will be providing you the designing, the drawings, the site management, checking of the work to ensure its quality, certifying the payments which are due to the various people who are involved in the construction program. And in other words, we are trying to provide you services in totality which will ensure from your side that everything is in keeping with your requirements.
Okay, Uncle, I'm going to ask you the question and you can just look at me and answer.
Sure.
What we want to know is, what is so unique about your project Royal Retreat? Why are you pushing it so much?
No, I'm not pushing it. I'm enjoying doing it. You see, there are projects, projects and projects. But this is something which I'll say I put my soul into. It's different. It's different in many ways. You open a paper and you find out there are so many farmhouses coming out. This is not a farmhouse project. It's a retreat. It's going to be solace to our tense nerves. This is a place where one could really go and get lost into. It has various facilities, starting a high-tech thing like a helipad.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry, this is very, I shouldn't be doing this, but somewhere a phone is ringing and it's going on, buzzing in the back.
Mind doing this project?
I love it. This is a project after my heart. You know, projects, projects, projects. But this is something where I think I put myself into it absolutely fully. Because this is something which I am creating, and creation of different types. For example, here we have designed a resort, a retreat, which has got as a background of a club, which is like an old ship, underground water restaurant. A health club, which is a spaceship. So I've zoomed in from 1700 to 1990. There's something very different. This is not like one of those things which you read in the papers, bikini-clad girls all around. This is something where you'll just go and get lost. It's a solace to nerves which are roughed, tension. You don't have to eat Zentek for it. You just go with your kids, have a hell of a swell time. This is what it's all going to be about. So, the point which is basic is facilities, whether it is tennis at night, disco at 2 a.m. in the morning, billiard etc., which is normal. Obesity center, we all are very health conscious, figure conscious, exceptions being there as you can see. However, then you got a helipad. This is for the jet set. Come to me if you can afford to buy. That's the bottom line. We want to be exclusive. We want people to talk about, not because it's a high fantasy. It's not a Disneyland at all. It is something which we all enjoy with the family, go around, it meets all tastes, badminton, tennis, swimming, a special swimming pool with waves effects. So, children can enjoy, open decks, you can splash in from the restaurant upper levels. Your pub is going to be a bar which is going to be done in the, skull and bones sort of effect. As I told you earlier, that it's a sail ship. And at night, the whole drama changes. You see, you got on one side pulsating rhythm to the Jamaican, and on the other side you got in another restaurant which we are creating, especially a Viennese restaurant, you got the waltz. It's one of those things, which is totally different. We want it to be different. And not being different just because of being different, but something which everyone will enjoy. Video parlor for the children, limousine service away from here. We are also trying if we can connect the helipad service into town, near a hospital, so you can in a jiffy be there. So this is what I feel, I'm very excited, I'm involved in this. It's one of those projects. And we are also designing the farmhouses if some people want it. Then there is a security system, there's cable TV. There is a standby generation for power at every door as such. Then we are having monitoring of various facilities, almost a small commercial center, like a department store. These are ideas, which we are trying to bring into it. It's a complete entity in itself. So it's not that it is only, and then you see this whole thing is being managed by professionals. Mr. Khaitan, known for his, pillar of strength on legality, accounts, financing. We will be giving help for clearance of Reserve Bank for our NRI friends. So this is the first project which I feel is being manned by total professionals. You see, that is the whole approach.